Hello there, superb internet and your fantastic creatures of the beyond. Let me introduce you guys to a very interesting series called Lexx. It was developed by these creators, but especially by Lex Geigerov or something like that. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but he's definitely the one that put the name of the show as Lex. Now, in terms of the trailer, I could not find a good quality one, and this is their official one, but we'll go through it anyway.
In the year 4001, there is perfect order in the universe. Freedom has been replaced by fear. Love has been replaced by hate. And God has been replaced by the shadow.
The power of order has destroyed your planet. The power of order will destroy you.
Don't think so.
Rise up! You are all slaves!
Targeted.
Fire now!
Prepare yourself for a journey beyond your wildest dreams.
My task is complete. I choose to destroy them all.
Barry Bostwick, Michael McManus. I worship his shadow.
Yeah, so as you can see, VHS kind of shaky camera, really epic of the 1990s. Lexx is the predecessor of Farscape. So it came out in 1996 and then in 2002, and Farscape came out in 1999 and ended in 2003. And these two series have a few elements in common. So what is Lexx? Well, you can think of Lexx like, have you wondered when you watched a porn movie how would the plot develop if they would remove all of the porn? Well, exactly what Lexx is. um, so the elements that Farscape and Lexx have in common are basically the living ship. Well, in this case, the living ship is also a bug that can talk. And then you have the plant girl and the annoyed sidekick and other small elements that are there, but at the same time they're extremely polarizing. While most sci-fi plots are about the protagonists running away from a very powerful threat or chasing after some heroic adventures, well, in Lexx, the crew is always searching for a place where they can satisfy their lustful and carnal desires. Like you have a robot head that worships a sex slave that is a woman, and then you have a cowardly captain that is considered a traitor for his violation of his duties that led to the destruction of a lot of planets. And then you have an undead assassin that is 2000 years old and doesn't have any feelings, and the sex slave is in love with him. And then there's also two universes, the light side and the dark side. Quite a wild adventure. It is very weird and at the same time very hot. And yes, it has a ton, and I mean a ton of flaws. Very sloppy plot writing, cheap sets, like literally in season one. Um, the sets are built with trash bags for decorations. But Lexx is not sexualized. it's hyper-sexualized for most of its content. And probably most of its budget went to the cast that had a lot of attractive young women and men, and most likely they were foreigners from Germany or something like that. Mm, and clearly this was targeted at horny teenagers. I remember that I saw this one of the episodes when I was about 17, and man, did I fall in love with that series. But it actually did help the show because in chapter 2 and 3 they got a budget upgrade, and it really showed like in the quality of the sets and also in the nudity. I think it had the most nudity in a sci-fi show at that time. And the show didn't take itself serious. It was rather goofy, but it did a lot of mambo jumbo wizardry on the screen and defied all scientific rules. But at the same time, um, there were quite some talented people in the production, and a lot of thought went into the development of the two universes, and there were even some serious episodes where they were very impactful, both emotionally and visually theatrical. And even the soundtrack was amazing. Just like how Farscape soundtrack is very unique, so are things here in Lexx. I don't know, the main cast is actually quite decent for the most part. Their scripts are not so compelling, but they do a lot with very little. And they do play their roles really well. You do feel attached and invested into these characters. And they do develop a depth as the plot progresses throughout the story of the 4 seasons. But of course, the main attraction are the exotic scenes and the hot, quirky sexual remarks, and maybe even some of the sleazy romantic elements that are in there. Um, well, in terms of the seasons, I can say that the first one it feels kind of like a very long pilot. Mainly, I think it's because they didn't think they had a shot at getting a new season, so they concluded the story in the first season, in the first chapter. But then they got very inventive on the newer chapters. Season 2 is where things become far more active in both action and the visual styles. And in season 3, they have a very sharp turnaround where they kind of implement this steampunk hell and heaven scenario with two twin planets that orbit each other and have the forces of good and evil, but they're kind of in the gray area, more or less. While season 4 is the downfall of this series because I think they ran out of the budget and they film everything on Earth. That's where the action is happening, and it shows the quality falls through the roof in all the departments. And there were a few good episodes here and there, but not enough to keep the audience around. And I suppose that is what canceled the show in the end. But it was quite a wild ride. So Lex is very weird and very fun. But I can guarantee you that it will stick with you for the rest of your life if you watch it. So give it a go. I think it's a fun adventure sci-fi. Okay, guys, you stay awesome. I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye 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 bye.